Okay guys, welcome back. So following on from last week where we started to introduce some of the shafts that are arriving here at TXG, we are going to look at two new ones that increase the family of the Fujikura Ventus range.
Which we first saw at the PGA show.
Yep, we did. We had a good sit down with Alex D and,
that's right.
and took a dive into which for them was some revolutionary materials. Velocore was sort of for them the start of a sort of new era of how they were going to make some of their more premium products. Something that was looked as a real stabilizer, a MOI enhancer.
So is that the part of this that people should care about? The fact that that material is so strong and consistent that basically it makes the shaft, almost more forgiving to a miss it? Is that the concept?
That's it. So this Velocore is the layering of very, very strong materials which basically resist twisting. There has been some sort of claims of more centered strikes.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yep, quite a lot of that. But
by making the head come back more consistently to square.
Exactly. Yep. So returning back to impact more efficiently. So
Cool.
Ventus was obviously a standalone product. It either suited you or it didn't.
This blue one was the only
That
offering.
was it.
Yep.
So that was their kind of middle of the range one, and to simplify it for a lot of people who maybe understand this sort of comparison, it was the blue board.
Yeah.
Right. So it was the middle of the road shaft, and like all these things, if it works and there's success with it, they're going to expand on it and they're going to add other family members, which they have done.
Right.
So we now have the Ventus Black.
Yep.
Which is the big brother.
So you kind of, talking about this about a month ago, you mentioned this basically came from tour players wanting a firmer
Correct.
version.
That's right.
So they developed the black, DJs using it.
Yep.
Anyone else that we would?
There's been lots and lots of tests.
Jordan Spieth testing it out, I think, too, or?
There's been a ton.
Yeah.
There's been a ton. I don't know all the names who have been testing it, but there's been a lot. And then there's the slightly softer red profile.
And this is the one I think that will be most interesting for most people watching is
Yep.
the technology is cool, obviously in the blue, and that was the only product. And I think someone that didn't swing on that, maybe that speed or that kind of amount of torque that you put on the shaft, the red one gives you the advantage of all that kind of technology.
Yep.
But at least it's now in a profile that would suit probably more of an average player.
That's right. Yeah. I mean the sort of the light loader, if you like, the guy who's a little bit smoother in transition and isn't placing too much sort of stress on the shaft and loading it too much on the downswing,
Gotcha.
is going to benefit from the sort of smoother profile on the red. So
Very
you've
cool.
kind of got the aggressive, you've got the mid-range, and then you've got the slightly softer tipped one. And we'll overlay the EI curve so you can kind of understand a little bit about how this works. And the black one for me, I think especially when you look at the EI curve on it, it looks particularly stable in the midsection, sort of the lower midsection. It looks like where that's where kind of most of the stability is in this one. It is very tip stiff, but if you look on the EI curve, it's not that much more tip stiff than the blue, but it's a much stronger in the midsection which is where the majority of the load is going to occur. Right. So if you think back to a shaft, maybe for just for example's sake, Project X load zone with the micro taper in the midsection in order to create a little bit more energy in there. UST a few years ago done a pretty interesting test, and they were trying to establish whether in the butt section, the midsection, or the tip section, which section would influence energy production the most. And they actually came out with the midsection as being the most influential in creating energy. And most people would think that would come from the tip section because it's kind of down the chain of energy.
Yeah.
It's the last to influence the strike, but they actually found that it was from the midsection, which is interesting.
That's an interesting point. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, Matty, let's see if we can bomb one down the 18th at Pebble. Okay.
It's a good time for a forgiving driver shaft and head when you need to hit something other than the ocean.
Good hole for you, this one. Just nice little draw. Just keep it left of the tree out there. Hit it well.
Yep.
Hit it over the tree.
A little low on the face.
Okay.
Safe.
Better. That one is fair to say is hammered. I mean, one thing that is always a real focal point that I have, a focus point that I have during a fit is how the shaft influences strike point. So as we go through 3 different profiles here. I'm very curious as to what we see in that front, whether we do see some variables with the slightly softer one that we probably would suspect wouldn't fit you quite as well. So maybe we stray around the head a little bit with this one, but with one of the other profiles, the blue and the black, we seem to tighten that strike point up a little bit. That's another really good one. You could be a little bit more daring in that line.
I know. I'm so scared of the ocean.
Good strike there.
Yep, just a little. So the first few did feel a little bit lower on the face than I'm used to.
Mm-hmm.
That one was definitely lower on the face.
That was the line we were talking about. Yep. Maybe just spun it a little bit because of the low strike, but
yeah, kind of felt a little low, a little heel maybe.
Okay.
That's as brave as I can be. It felt like I was hitting it into the ocean.
As brave as you need to be, I think, that one. Yeah, it's pretty good stuff, that, isn't it? A1.
So not really the one that you'd take off the wall for me coming in as a customer, but interesting that the results are actually not bad.
Very good. Okay, Matty, so here we have the Ventus Blue. So we have tested this one before. You like this one?
Yeah, I think
you hit this one well in testing.
Good results, yeah.
Yeah, I remember you saying that in Orlando. You liked the feel of it when we were by the Fujikura booth at Demo Day.
That's right. Yeah, it was a windy day and we were getting some nice kind of steady balls. So.
Yeah.
Felt pretty good. Good strike. Distance-filled strike. I guess that's kind of the one that you get a little extra out of when it's ½ inch above center.
Yeah.
Start line was brave, and then I turned it around a bit. Yeah. Oh, it didn't turn around. I really wanted to hammer one down there. Goodbye. Goodbye, old friend.
Lovely.
It's got a good shape to it.
That's absolutely hammered.
I'm definitely feeling the higher part of the face.
Certainly feeling the more middle part of the face.
Well, that's, I guess, compared to where I was hitting the last one, that basically is just the middle. It's not. Yeah. It's at 10 millimeters higher.
It's awfully good. So we suggested that would be where your gains would come with this, and it's proven to be exactly the case.
So you've already kind of, not dispelled, I'm not going to call it a myth, but you've maybe gone against what people would expect in that this launched a bit higher, being 13 degrees versus 12. The red's obviously supposed to be a higher launching shaft, but I had a higher strike giving me a higher launch.
Yeah, you can see that there. So you've got a higher launch, lower spin scenario from the strike.
Yep.
You know, there's a little bit more delivered loft. I mean, we're talking about less than ½ a degree, so really no big deal. So it's all strike-induced sort of differences between those two. Lovely.
It's good too. That might have been a fraction lower in the face than the last one, but I still think it's higher in the face than I did with the red.
Yeah, you're exactly
close.
right.
What I'm looking at is the horizontal distribution, because you know me pretty well. That's not, it's not usually my specialty. Yeah. I'm usually throwing in some toe balls and a couple heel balls too.
And everyone who's familiar with the channel knows that that's your tendency as well. Now you have been working hard at a couple of things to really change that, which has been great. But you know, if you get a little helping hand along the way with a shaft that helps you deliver that sweet spot more consistently, you'll take it all day long, won't you?
Well, it helps you build the confidence, I think, even if you were working on your swing and you wanted to come in and do your fitting at the same time.
That's a great point, yeah.
Because I would go to the range now and I wouldn't doubt, I guess, the setup while I'm working on my swing.
A real different pitch comes off of this. It's louder.
I agree. Yep, that one was very loud.
I do tend to find that with shafts that are a little bit stiffer, they produce different acoustics.
What do you think that is? More speed, more?
I think it's stiffer materials. I think stiffer materials will tend to, and I might be absolutely wrong with that, but it's something I've noticed over the years. Certainly working with better players, when you give them different shafts, some of the stiffer products tend to produce higher pitched acoustics.
Interesting.
Lovely. But you've went from being Daniel Dart, straight as can be, to you don't really have control of this one.
It doesn't feel quite as automatic, I agree.
Your ball speeds went through the roof.
That's interesting. So the energy transfer is good, but I'm maybe just getting the face a bit close.
It's not that you're swinging all that much quicker, you're just becoming more efficient.
Okay, well, let's see if that keeps up.
Might sneak that weight out in the toe and let you have a hit at a few here.
It's true. All right, let me hit one more.
It's just that curve.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind a little toe adjustment.
Okay.
It's close, isn't it?
Yeah.
Close, I just thinned it.
Okay.
Go! Go! Oh, yes. I do feel like I can go at this a little bit harder.
It's taking a little bit that curve away. It's a big carry.
Yeah. There's definitely some more kind of extra gear to this where I feel like it's holding up a bit better. Well, that's as fast as I've swung.
We've not seen you there for a while.
No, it's like 8 or 9 months I haven't swung that fast.
127.
So this is, I know I've seen you do a million fits, so I'm kind of cheating, but I've seen you a lot of times pick a shaft because you weren't super happy with the ball speed. You've seen the ball speed come up with your choice, and then you've gone, okay, how do I tweak maybe the head? So I almost feel like that's kind of what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, so the raw ingredient of any improvement normally for me comes from speed.
Okay.
So then from there you go about whether it's a loft and lie adjustment or a little tweak here or there. But you know, if we have horsepower, then we can refine it. Then it's about giving you the ability to steer it in the right direction.
That will be the end of the video.
That's perfect, isn't it? Look at that. What a drive that is. Could have sold that at the US Open this year.
Yes.
Interesting.
So most of the strikes were good. I did come into the first one kind of scrapey, but you know, we had to switch the clubs and sit around for a bit, so that's not completely unexpected. But I found a rhythm with it for sure.
And your sort of delivery of the face got significantly better once that weight went out into the toe. So you were sort of a little bit out of the toe, you were kind of catching some a little bit high, and less so once you moved it out there, which is interesting once the face kind of stayed a little more open. Very interesting.
No, I really like what you did there because to me that felt like a fitting. I know there were only 3 options, so it's not really a fitting, but this was kind of like a Ventus shaft fitting because the end was what's the best that this can be. Change the weight a bit so you can swing a little bit faster and the ball won't go right.
You know, it was pretty fascinating to kind of see the 3 layers of performance.
Yeah.
You know, you obviously weren't that efficient with the red, more efficient with the blue, but captain efficiency with the black. Launch and spin didn't deviate too much. I mean,
no, just subtly.
Subtly, yeah.
And you could trace most of it to the strike. Between the first 2, I'm sure it was almost entirely strike. The last one is where I started to feel like my delivery was almost changing a little bit. I don't know how to explain it, but okay, so it's there. The dynamic loft was lower.
It was a little bit lower.
I'm not going to say I felt a degree, but you know how they just looked like the ball was taking off flatter would be my closest input.
Interesting though, eh?
Very interesting. 3
sort of different shaft profiles and 3 whole different sets of performance. So, you know, the argument rages on in terms of the purpose of the shaft and the value that it provides. Again, you're such a consistent player. I can't help but think that, you know, when you do these tests, that you can really validate that there's quite a lot in this. I mean,
I hope that's what we're doing. Yeah, that's the intention for sure.
I do as well. I mean, we've kind of unlocked a different speed variable coming out of that there, and
well, I mean, to me, it's
good.
like the test is I could care less which 3 of those was the best fit. All we really did is hit them and look to the results.
Absolutely.
And so if you can't look at the strike pattern, the face angle, and kind of the dispersion and say, well, there's enough of a difference there.
Yeah.
I don't know what would convince you.
I know.
It's pretty cut and dry as far as I can say.
But 3 great options.
Absolutely. Good for them for doing the full range. I like that they did that.
Expanding on the range a little bit, and I think that really completes the family and the Ventus range. And for me, it's a real sign that they believe that this is the future of their premium line moving forward. That they have filled that out, and they believe they really have something pretty special in the technology in the Ventus. You know, I know our fitters here love them, so I think they're really eager to get their hands on the red profile and the black profile and see how they kind of fit in the matrix.
Perfect.
Very cool. Excellent. Okay, interesting one, guys. We enjoy these ones. These are a little bit nerdy, but that's what we love to do.
It is.
So I think that's probably why you guys are watching us. It's for tests like this to be able to kind of pull apart variables and sort of explain them.
Absolutely.
So hope you enjoyed it. Okay, see you again soon.